Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Good day, my Kardec Radio Spiritist friends. We come to you once again with a chapter reading from the book, The Way, the Truth, and the Life. From the Spirit author Emmanuel through the mediumship of Francisco Candido Xavier. Today's chapter number is 72, entitled Transitory Things. The New Testament reading from Paul, letter to the Hebrews, chapter 1, verse 11. They will perish, but you shall remain, and all of them will wear out like a garment. Ecclesiastes tells us about human vanities and affliction amid the maelstrom of unbridled earthly ambitions. Ever since the earliest times of the human family, there have been individuals who were involved in the false values of the world. However, it would take only a few minutes of serious thought about how transitory everything is in the realm of forms to grasp the sovereignty of the spirit. Just look at the ostentation housed in museums and in the ruins of dead civilizations. What was the purpose of building such monuments and arches of triumph? Everything has functioned as the clothing of thought. Ideas have evolved and the spirit has become enriched, whereas its garments are long gone. The calloused hands that built glossy columns learned the secrets of life through work, yet how much bitterness was experienced by the insane persons who fought to possess these columns, even to the point of death. Therefore, take advantage of every chance to serve. Look at it as a sacred opportunity on your divine pathway to God. Scarcity is invaluable because it brings discipline. Abundance is precious because it multiplies the forms of the good. Even so, both will perish someday. In the corporeal realm, glory and misery are merely temporary situations. They both pass away. Only Jesus and the divine law remain with us as doorways to the life and redemption. Emmanuel again gives us much food for thought of the impermanence of our life here on earth. Everything on earth is temporary. And of course, the one thing that's so very obvious to us is the physical body. We are born and we die. One of the things we try to do is to take care of our physical body. And the better we take care of that physical body, the longer it's going to be around. So we try to feed it nutritious food, try to give it some exercise, and we try to lower the stress level by meditating. That's one way of doing it. And this helps not necessarily to extend the life, but it certainly improves the quality of our life. And that's what we're after, the quality of our life. Because we're all going to be called someday. And when our mentor spirits decide to take us to the other side, the ticket's up and it's got to be punched. Now, there are passages in the Spiritist literature that talk about people that live in accordance with Christ's major moral teachings. And those are loving God, praising God, and number 2, loving our neighbor and serving our neighbor the way we would like to be loved and served. When we practice those two things, it's hard for us to go wrong. And The better you do that, sometimes in the literature, it talks about people that were granted additional time. Usually that's because of something within the family that needed to be taken care of. And that particular person was instrumental in the lives of these people. So another interesting thing is the more time we have here, the faster that we can evolve ourselves. Because if we're using that time loving and serving, which is the true way of growing our spiritual body grows from how we treat people. Do we serve those particular people? Do we love those particular people? And we don't get rattled when people give us a hard time, especially if we're talking about spiritism and people know we're a spiritist. We have to tolerate their unpassionate behavior, intolerant behavior, and their laughter and fun making and sarcasm. I mean, it's just, of course, Christ was a perfect example of how he tolerated things. You know, he is our role model, as we all know. So this helps us to evolve at a faster rate when we can do these things and not be affected. I want to also emphasize, remember that all things on the earth are, again, transitory. And this covers, as I said earlier, the body, and also covers the family, covers our plants, covers our animals, and even the minerals. Everything is temporary here. Some are a little bit longer than others, but it's all temporary. Remember that Earth has all kinds of distractions and attachments. When you can overcome those, then we will thrive. If we feed on them, then we linger. One suggestion I have to kind of finish up this chapter is adopt a motto to bloom like a tree and to blossom like a flower, remembering that everything on this earth plane has a lifespan, and we must take advantage, majorly taking advantage of our lifespan. Thank you, my Kardec Radio Spiritist friends, and continue to pray while this virus is still with us. And pray not only for the people that are undergoing it and the people that are taking care of the people that are undergoing the COVID-19 virus, but also pray that our society continues to awaken to the fact that we must rid each and every one of us ourselves of this selfishness and pride. It may not be very apparent in many of us. Some of us it's very apparent, but all of us have either major issues to get rid of or minor ones. And we all need to do that so that the earth can regenerate itself. And so be it.